Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nash, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am not on YouTube, so I follow you on this other WhatsApp group where we regularly hear the confessions that you post. So after you have posted my story, please, I am asking you if you can make a screenshot so that I can hear what people would have said in the comment section. So this is my own story. I am a woman who has lived most of her life in a small rural village here in Zim. I have always been known as someone who is a woman of strong opinions, even though I really went to school, but I always believe that we need to hold tightly to our traditions and family values. But what I am about to confess to you is something that I never imagined, but I can say that my son was the one who forced me into that situation. And I have the courage to admit that I was filled with jealousy and I made a terrible mistake. Sometimes I do regret the things that I did, but I blame my son because of what he made me, what he forced me to do, the action that he forced me to do. So when my son went to Harare, to this other teacher's college, I was clear about it. I told him that when he was in Harare, he was to remember that the reason as to why we had fought so hard so that he can get a proper education, it was because we wanted him to get a good job, and after he would have gotten a good job, he was supposed to remember his parents and his siblings that he had left in the village. And I made it clear to him that I did not want him to date the little prostitutes that he was going to meet in Harare. I told him, I was clear about it. I told him that I was only going to accept a woman whom you would say that he would want to marry if it was a woman that I knew, a woman, a girl from our own village. And I had hoped in my heart that he was going to give me the honor to choose a wife from our own village, because there were a few girls, the ones that I knew that they were okay, and I did not want him to date little prostitutes that he was going to meet in Harare. I told him that you are a man now, maybe you might have the desire to sleep with a woman. So when you are in the city, I do not want you to be so serious if you are involved with these girls from the city that have modern ideas and a lifestyle that is foreign to me. You can sleep with them, but it has to end there. I do not want you to bring them back to my compound. So later on, he then told me that he had met someone. I was really heartbroken when he came with his little prostitute from the city. From the moment that I met her, I disliked her, even though she was beautiful, confident, and well-spoken, but I did not like her at all, and I feared that this little woman that he had brought would take my son away from me, and she would make him forget where he came from. I tried to hide my feelings, but the resentment, it was just too much inside of me. Every time that I saw her, my anger grew and grew. I began to find fault in each and everything that she did, the way that she dressed. How can a woman come to visit her in-laws without a wrapping skirt, without a duke? What kind of a woman does that? The way that she spoke and how she cooked. She did not cook nice food. I convinced myself that she was not a good wife for my son, and she will be bringing nothing but trouble to our family. And when I learned that they were trying to have a child, I was like, no, that can never happen. My jealousy then reached its peak. The thought of my son giving birth to my grandchildren with her, being the mother of the next generation, was more than that I could bear. So when I called to Harare and then they told me that she was pregnant, I said that I have to do something. I went to this other lady who is also from our village. So this lady, I had seen her. She had helped a lot of women with fertility issues before. So I went and I spoke with her and I told her that my daughter-in-law from the city, she was now pregnant. So we had to do something to destroy whatever that was growing inside of her womb. And she said that it was just an easy thing to do. So she then gave me some charms, and after I had used those charms, that was when my son told me that his wife had a miscarriage, and I was happy. After that, they kept on trying and trying and trying until I called them and I told my son that You know that in our village, even the time when I got married to your father, I was only giving birth to girls. So your father started complaining until I went and I visited this traditional healer, who then gave me some herbs. And after I had taken those herbs, then I was able to conceive a son. And I think that I need to go there so that I can speak with her. Maybe she can give me some charms. So my son and my daughter-in-law, they thought that I wanted to help them. Then they gave me the go-ahead. So I went there and I spoke with my favorite witch doctor, and then she said that, you know, that my charms, I can actually change them so that instead of helping your daughter to give birth, to conceive, then the charms can do the opposite. So then that woman then gave me some charms, and when I arrived in Harare, I pretended as if I was a caring mother-in-law offering my daughter-in-law the charms that she was supposed to drink, because after the miscarriage she was having a lot of period pain. Sometimes she would be on her period for 2 weeks. So I gave her the charms as if it was a remedy for her period pain. I had told her that it was a traditional medicine that had been given to me, and it was something that would help her to feel better. She trusted me, my son trusted me, and I watched and I was happy as she accepted the charm, grateful for what she thought was my concern. Inside, I felt really great and I was happy. And after she had drank the charm, she did not know that this charm, it had tied her womb such that she will never conceive as long as she will be staying with my son. Months passed and I waited and I waited, and I was more than happy when I heard that she was failing to fall pregnant. I then spoke with my son and I said, dear son, you can see that I am now getting old. Give me a grandson or a And I then said, my son, you can see that I am now old. I want a grandchild. Try to do something about it. That was when I convinced him and I said, in secret, you can get married. You know that. Then I told him that there was this other girl from the village who was a nice girl. He then came to the village, slept with that girl, and the girl fell pregnant. And I was more than happy when this girl fell pregnant for my son. And I then told my first daughter-in-law that there was another woman in the village, so they needed to share whatever that their husband was getting. So I am now staying with my second daughter-in-law, whilst my son is staying with his first wife in the city. And the curse that I placed upon her life, the curse is like, as long as she is staying with my son, she will never conceive. No matter what, she will never conceive. The day that she is going to break away from my son, that is the day that we are going to release her womb. I do not want this woman. I do not want her, because I do not like her character, the way that she dressed, the way that she cook, the way that she talk. I just do not like it at all. She must just leave my son alone. If she wants to give birth, if she wants to have a child, she must leave my son alone. But if she is willing to die without a child, she must remain married to my son. So this is the curse that I placed upon my daughter-in-law. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. So that was the translation of the message that she sent to me. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Yo.